Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Trends with Nasser. In this video, I'm going to talk about the 6 stages of the software development lifecycle: planning and requirement analysis, defining the requirements, design, development, testing, deployment, and maintenance. At first, I'm going to explain all of these 6 concepts in detail. Then I'm going to tell you a simple story which will help you recap all of these concepts. So please watch this video till the end. Let's buckle up and get started. First, we will talk about planning and requirement analysis. Planning is a very important segment before software development. Planning helps us understand the project scope or the target customers. Planning helps us understand the core objectives of the project or the purpose it serves as a whole. Planning also helps us allocate the proper resources according to their skill sets required to execute and complete the project. Now let us move on to defining requirements. The client requirements which are required to develop this software are approved by the customers, the market analysts, and the stakeholders. After a thorough discussion with these three parties, a document called the SRS or the Software Requirement Specification is prepared. This Software Requirement Specification document outlines the steps of the project which it will go through to finish the development. Now let us talk about the design or the architecture. The SRS or the Software Requirement Specification document acts as a very good reference to the software engineer while designing the architecture of the software. The design document specification or the DDS document is prepared by the software engineer depending on this SRS. It is a low-level design which is easily understandable to the software engineers. It will then be converted to a high-level design which we will call the UI design, based on which the software development will start. Moving on to developing the product. Developers follow the DDS and the UI design to create the software as per the client requirements. They use tools such as compilers, debuggers, interpreters, along with programming languages such as C or C++, Java, Python, etc., according to the software regulations to create the software. This way, the software is being developed. Now, let us move on to stage 5, product testing and integration. After the software is developed, it is then sent to the QA engineers or the quality assurance engineers, where they test the end-to-end user journey of the software. I will discuss about the end-to-end user journey for any feature or for any feature of a software in my next video, so please don't miss it. And according to the SRS or the requirements provided in the SRS, the software QA engineers actually test the software. Based on that, they post the bugs, and then the developers fix those bugs, and it is again sent to the QA engineers to retest, and finally after they confirm, then the changes are deployed in the software, and then after aligning with the client, we can send the app or the software for production. Now let us move on to the final phase, deployment and maintenance of product. So when the product is finally developed and ready and also tested, it is released in the production environment phase by phase, not all of it at the same time. This way we can gain the customer feedbacks and work on that and finally implement the feedback or the changes, and then it is also tested by the software quality assurance engineers and reconfirmed, and after that the changes are released in the environment by simple deploying. Okay, so now let us talk about recapping all of the concepts which we have discussed. So let us talk about a simple feature, checkbook request. So this is a feature in internet banking applications. So at first we have to know the purpose of the checkbook request feature. So the purpose of the checkbook request feature is a customer who is registered in the internet banking platform will be able to make a request for a checkbook. After the customer makes the request for a checkbook, the bank admin user will see the request and they will decide whether to approve or to reject it. Now, this is the purpose behind this feature. So now we have to know the validation or the acceptance criteria. So at first, when we are knowing the purpose, we are then in the planning stage. Now, since we have to know the acceptance criteria, we are now defining the requirements, such as the first acceptance criteria would be that the customer has to be a registered internet banking user. The second criteria would be that the customer needs to have an account tagged in the internet banking system, in the bank internet, in the CBS. He has to be a registered user in banking. Otherwise, he won't be able to register in the internet banking applications, and furthermore, he won't be able to generate the checkbook request. So there goes. And after that, we will prepare an SRS. Let's say for this particular feature, we are preparing an SRS since we are using checkbook request feature as an example. So after the SRS is prepared, so basically it is a low-level design document or architectural document, mostly understandable to software engineers. So for user context, we are converting it into a high-level format. So that is called the UI design. So after the UI design is ready, so the design is ready, and then we are going to develop it. So development occurs in two phases. Front-end and mobile team develops the web and the app respectively, and the back-end team develops the APIs that needs to be connected with the front end and the mobile team to implement the app and web versions of the application. Okay, so after the development is done, then we go for testing, where the QA engineers test the softwares along with the acceptance criteria and the requirements defined during the initial meetings, during the planning, during designing or defining the requirements, and they check at first if the functionality is matching the intended client requirements. The functionality is given the most priority. After that, we will focus on the UI design and we will check if the client requirements are met according to the UI design. Finally, when it is tested and the bugs are reported and it's fixed, and after that it is again sent to the QA engineers and retested, we can then clarify that the product is ready for the release. And after releasing it in different phases and iterations and getting the client feedbacks or the customer feedbacks, we again perform minor changes, test them, then give feedbacks to the developers or post the bugs, and then again after it is fixed, we confirm the bugs are fixed and then release it in the production environment. So this is basically how it works. I use the checkbook request feature as an example so that it is easily understandable to you. So I hope you like this video. So please like, share, subscribe and comment to let me know if you want to add something more or if you want to see something new in my video. So in my next video, I will talk about the user journey, how to define the user journey for any feature. So this is a very important prerequisite when we are doing the requirement analysis for developing a software. So don't miss the next video. Stay tuned.